What is up, YouTube? So today, before we jump into the tier list, we're going to talk about the Vertigear chairs. I'm sitting in a Trigger 350 SE. They're amazing. The chairs are fantastic. Before I was freaking sponsored, I'm sick of hearing this. Before I was sponsored, I literally promoted this chair, the Trigger specifically, and Vertigear, because I knew how much I love the product, and I knew how much I wanted them to sponsor me. So I'm not just doing this because they sponsored me. Obviously, I'm doing it now to make myself look good, and for you guys to get some good-ass product. It's a win-win for both of us. That's not the only reason, so get that through your fucking brains. The chairs are amazing. I am actually getting 2 more chairs from them because they're hooking me the fuck up. So I'll be able to compare and show you the differences between the 350 Special Edition, which is the highest price one, the Trigger 275, which is the one I recommend the most for the cost plus what you're getting. I'm getting one of those. I'm also getting the SL5000, which is their racing series. So I will have all 3 chairs to compare against each other and to tell you what to get. If you have any questions, I do know a fuck ton about the chairs now. I've looked them up. I've helped people figure out which ones to get. Pop in my stream and ask me. If you go to my Twitter, you will see all the people that have bought them and tweeted me, and I've retweeted that they love the chairs. This isn't just me talking out of my ass. I promise you, if you get a Trigger, if you get a Vertigear, you will love the chair. I promise you. I promise. So use the link below. Gives me some money, and use code WEEKEND for 5% off. Don't be one of those people who just doesn't use the code. That makes no sense. All right. So now let's jump in to the tier list. This is going to be based on competitive play and very high level ranked. That means no one gives a shit that your tier jungle went 30-0 in gold 2. Nobody cares. I want you to understand that all the high level players, the Grandmasters players, all those people could get on an account at your level of play. Not you specifically, not you and me who I'm talking to, but some of you guys, you know who you are. And they could go 50-0 because the people you're playing against suck dick. Just to be straight up with you, they suck dick. This tier list based around competitive play, high level gameplay, and to make you as a Smite human being, Smite playing human being, to play at that level once you're at that skill level. To be playing the correct gods at that level. No one cares about fucking Bronze 3, 20-0, mid lane. Nobody cares. Literally nobody. Understand that. I get that you have good games on random gods. So does everyone in the fucking world. It's how it works. It's how video games are. Now let's get into the tier list, bitches. So first off, we get Agni. We're dropping Agni straight into A tier. Really, really good god. Honestly, nothing bad about him at all, except for his first 2 to 3 levels of clearing safely. So if you have the right jungler or you're in the right 2v2 matchup, perfect god. That's why I'm putting him at A, just because you can't just lock him in. You can have trouble if you just lock him in at any point. But if you're picking him 4th, you're picking him 3rd, and you know the other team's matchup in the mid jungle role, then you're good. You're solid. AMC, we're dropping into B. AMC's B, he's in B. It's just the way it works. He's too risky. Not a high priority pick. Not something that's going to do well consistently. Pooch dropping down into B. We barely ever see him because he's so fucking bad. That's all you need to know. He doesn't do anything at all. There's no reason to pick him. He's not safe. He's not strong. Not great. Don't do it. Amaterasu, A+. Amazing god. Great for team fighting. In solo lane, the early laning is going to be your roughest time. It's always been like that. Once you get through that, you're good. You're a team fight god. Understand that. Also works in the support role. Understand you're not a peel god once you're in that support role in Amaterasu. Just know, peeling is not going to be your priority. It's not going to be the thing you're best at. Just know that, and you're good to go. Next up, we got Anher. I don't really like Anher in this meta. I'm putting him in A-. He has very few matchups that are in his favor all around where, like, a whole team comp he'll just work well into. So you're probably not going to look at a lot of Anher. You can have some of those 1v1 matchups. Having the immune ult is nice in rare occasions. Just know those are the rare occasions you're picking Anher. Anubis, B tier. The only way you could potentially ever play Anubis is if you have the perfect team comp to protect Anubis. Like Geb, fucking Thor, some hunter that's just actually got massive amounts of damage to be that secondary carry soul laner with a lot of control. It seems likely, but even in those perfect team comps, then you're still risky with this guy. That's why he's dropping into B. Quang going into A-. Apparently, pretty soon, we're going to be seeing some crazy late game buffs to Ao Kuang. So once that happens, we'll probably see him move up. But for right now, A-. He can be played. Don't recommend it because early game is so important in Smite right now. The snowball potential is so high that playing Ao Kuang, who is not good early, which everyone should know, is risky and it's not worth it. Aphrodite, A-. I kind of want to put Afro in B. I really don't know what the fuck the difference is to me right now. I'll put Afro in B, actually, just because you're not going to play Afro. You're not going to do it. She doesn't do anything. And anti-heal is so easy to get. Every god gets anti-heal right now. Everybody. There's no reason not to. With bracers being picked up, everyone will have anti-heal. Apollo, I love Apollo. I think Apollo is super underrated. Everyone argues with me. That's why I'm going to drop him in A. I would put him in A+. It was just based on what I was thinking right now. But everyone seems to think he's just outside of that top 5. I think he's in top 500s, but I'm going to put him in A because I get it. The tanky build is there right now, and you have to play around the tanky build, and you have to use the god differently than originally, like everyone is used to. You're not just ulting in every fight. Usually ulting for mobility or just to be a threat on the map. As long as you understand that, you will do well. Most people don't get that, so I'm going to put him at A. Next up is Arachne. We saw Arachne in competitive play. Didn't go too well. Arachne's going into B. No mobility makes the god poo-poo. Straight up. Simple as that. Poo-poo god. Ares, I'm going to put an A-. You need your supports right now for most players to be fairly defensive out of the support role. It's not going to be full offensive, which is what Ares is. A lot of people can't play that aggressive, I'm going to carry as a support role. There are very few people competitively that do it, let alone in rank. So Ares is going to drop an A- because he is a strong god, and if you have initiation coming out of your jungle and your solo, he works. But obviously, in A-, needs the right team comp. Artemis, A-, needs the right team comp, needs the right matchups, can get away with it if being super aggressive, but if you're not being aggressive, that god's going to fall off quickly. Athena, I don't like Athena at all, putting A-. Only has one useful ability right now, in my opinion, which is the taunt. The ability to rotate from one side of the map to the other for every person in the game is so fucking high right now that global ult barely means shit. If you're warding properly and you know what the fuck's going on the map, that global ult is barely doing anything. You just see global ults are still nice, but they have seen such a huge fall off since back in Season 2, at the beginning of Season 3. Don't like Athena's ult. Only like the taunt, and the taunt is so easily... I mean, you're going to taunt one person, then you're going to get engaged on. You're just going to fucking die. Wheelix, A-. Wheelix sucks balls right now. Not a good late game god. Not that great in any team fights. When team fighting is so high early, the fact that people are getting bracers and beads and they're able to heal up so much, and Wheelix is all burst, so you just get your whole fucking damage healed, it sucks. It's not fun. It's not easy. Not an easy life for a Wheelix. Bacchus, A tier. I like Bacchus right now. That's just me. If we see a lot of gods banned out, a lot of supports banned out in this LAN coming up, expect to see some Bacchus gameplay. Aggression is awesome. Bacchus' ability to snowball is awesome. His defense is a little bit worse, but like I said, a lot of these gods are looking to be aggressive these days. The aggression is there. The EU style of play is a little bit different. It's calculated, but that calculated aggression out of Bacchus when you just full blow up one or two people with a knock-up ult is insane. So I expect to see some Bacchus. Bacchusura, Poo-Poo's here, going into B. Doesn't do shit at all. Doesn't work in any role. Don't play him. Don't do it. I'd rather you play any of these other gods other than Bacca. I'm not even trolling you. I'd rather have an Anubis mid in every one of my ranked games than a Bacca. Ever. Ever. Okay? Please. Bastet, A-. I think Bastet's kind of unutilized, but at the same time, there's just so many better gods that there's no reason to play Bastet. She doesn't have a matchup that dumpsters anyone else right now. It just doesn't happen. So you're not going to see a lot of Bastet. Bellona, S tier. I'm going to stay away from SS, by the way. We're going to... Imagine this isn't even here. We're starting at S+, S, and S-. We're putting Bellona in S tier. One of the best solo laners in the game. Straight up, period. That simple. You know how she works in the solo lane. She's so fucking good that if you get another top solo laner, you can throw her in the jungle and you can actually get away with it. It works. It really does. Kabrakan, B tier. Doesn't do anything after all the nerfs. He's pretty poo-poo. Camazotz, we're putting in the S+, or A+, sorry, not S+. Camazotz is super strong. If you fall behind, though, you're fucked. So with Camazotz, in everything, it's a higher risk with a really high reward because his ability to one-shot any squishy is there throughout an entire game from start to finish as long as you aren't behind. That's why I like him. He just lacks control. The only reason I don't put him in the S tier. Cornunos. I'm putting Cornunos into S-. I think Cornunos can be picked at any point in the game, do well against almost any matchup in the game. and has enough teamfight control to be a teamfight god while also having huge single target potential. It's all there. Perfect fucking fit. Chalk is poo-poo, A-. Always will have that laning phase where Chalk is going to win almost every laning phase, except for anti-healing is picked up super early now. The fact that Osiris is played almost all the time in a Chalk would not be fun, and his ability to teamfight late game is poo-poo. Chunga got super nerfed, A-. Doesn't do it. She just doesn't do enough. She does a little bit, just not enough. Chiron, putting Chiron in the A tier. I think he's a little underused right now. We always see him come out, especially at LANs. He comes out all the time, so maybe we'll see him at this LAN. I think he's got everything there. He's just not the best at anything, so he's like right in the middle. A tier. Chronos, we're going to see a lot more Chronos. A+. Safe god, meant for sustained farming, which is the way EU plays. They want to stay sustained, meaning they have health and mana almost all the time on the map, and they're able to just be anywhere at any time while also having the ability to farm up and carry late game. That's Chronos. Chronos is a late game god. You have the sustain when you get Bumbas in the mid lane. You farm, you carry late game. You're safe because you're ultimate. Boom. Easy peasy. So, Cuckoo Lane should not be played at the LAN. I'm going to put him on this list just for your ranked purposes when he comes out, and I'm going to put him at A tier. I think competitively, he'll be a lot harder to play at a high level. I think he has potential. I think there will be somebody who plays him perfectly and dumpsters with him. I truly do. Now, with that being said, in ranked and casuals, he'll do a lot better. It'll be a little bit easier to control the passive. It won't be as rushed. It won't be as calculated by the other teams. You'll have more wiggle room to get your shit going. So I'm putting him in A. I don't know his matchups yet in solo lane. I think he will be a solo laner. Could be a jungler, but might be a little unlikely just because of his passive being so freaking hard to use perfectly all the time and how much jungles end up fighting over buffs and stuff. It can be really rough. Cupid, huge counter matchup god. We're putting Cupid into A. Great counter matchup. Anything with movement and dashes and stuff, perfect. Cupid into a Terra, great. Serket, great. Anyone who's jumping and moving around. You can work on Hun Bats. You can work on really anybody moving, period. Just understand, Cupid is a team fight god. That's why I'm only putting him at A, because it's into certain matchups. You're not just going to lock in Cupid and be good to go. Dodgy. I think some people understand how fucking strong she is. I think some people are a little confused. And I truly believe Dodgy is one of the higher level gods right now. She does so much fucking damage. And I think in EU, once again, we're jumping back to EU. I think, alright, so this is going to be NA too. I think Homie in NA will play Dodgy if he's been practicing her at this LAN and dumps her. And that, if you don't know who Homofe is, you're crazy. He was the first person to really play Camazotz and do well on Camazotz. A god that does all damage, can be kind of safe if played perfectly, which he fucking does, and doesn't have any control. That's Dodgy. Dodgy has a little bit of mobility, enough to keep you safe when played flawlessly. It has a shit ton of damage, and it has an ultimate that keeps you safe. It's literally a spitting image of Camazotz, just in a different way, and with the damage coming out a little bit different. I think EU could potentially use Dodgy all the time because of their fights being super calculated, and if Dodgy's only fighting once every 3 minutes, she's going to be safe as fuck. That's just straight up how it's going to be. I also really, really hope Homie plays this god, because she's supposed to be available at the LAN. Hopefully nothing changes and we get to see her. I really want to see her played. Erlang Shen, I'm going to drop into A tier. You see EU play a little bit more of Erlang than anywhere else. Sometimes NA comes out in random roles like jungle and shit. He's not bad, but he's super easy to kill and he's not that safe, so I'm putting him in A tier. If he snowballs really hard, he's a good god. If not, if he's on par or behind, I'd rather have someone else. Straight up. Fafnir, putting Fafnir at S-. I think it's a support that's aggressive, safe, defensive, and super safe. Like, think about it. You have this ult that does damage people don't want to stand in, and then you can't take any damage during it. You have control because you have this crazy amount of stuns. You have AoE breathing damage, which actually does a decent amount of damage. And your ability to peel with those stuns is there. And you also have a long range leap, or a leap into an ult into a leap. So you can move a lot. Strong god, strong support. Fenrir, poo-poo tier. I don't really like him. I'm going to drop him in A- because I think somebody could play him. I think in the right team comps, you could easily play him. But it wouldn't be ideal, and it won't be the strongest god. Freya, I think Freya sucks. I'm putting her down into B, to be honest. She's not aggressive enough. She's too mid to late game, and even mid to late game, there's other gods that do the same thing. Especially with Hunters being tanky. Like, it's insane. Hunters building Shifter Shield and doing a shit ton of damage where you got squishy-ass Freya with no mobility and no tankiness. not worth. Ganesh, we're putting in the A+. I think Ganesh is amazing. I think he's going to get played a lot. Super annoying with the silence. Has the peel, has the aggression, has the annoying ult when used. So when I made my top 5 list, people were like, Ganesh sucks dick, blah, blah, blah. That's because you suck dick, bro. That's you who sucks dick, and you're playing with shitlord teammates who suck dick. Period. You have a silence on a fucking support. Supports usually just stand there twiddling their dicks around after they use a couple of abilities because they can't do anything else other than block autos. This bitch knocks you up, drops an annoying ass ult, and then stands in your face and says you can't use any fucking abilities, all while buffing his teammates around him, which most of you probably don't even know the abilities do. So let's see. That's bad? No, I'm going to go with you're bad if you think he's bad. Period. Geb, S tier. I think Geb is going to be top priority pick out of NA. If EU plays it, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Really strong. Lacks the early aggression, but contains and controls the ability to peel, the ability to initiate, the ability to just be annoying with knockup. That's all you need in a support. You got everything. Guan Yu, I'm putting Guan Yu in A-. Anti-heal, easy to pick up. Kind of hard to play a Guan in any role right now. Not really a soul laner, when traditionally he would be. His ability to support is there, but also putting another warrior into support, kind of risky. It just doesn't work out because he doesn't bring enough. Hades, I'm putting in the A tier just because Hades has amazing counter matchups. If people are spamming Isis or they're spamming gods with low mobility, you're going to see Hades come out in the mid lane, and it can control the fight as long as it doesn't die before level 5. With Sunder being gone, Hades is a lot more annoying and a lot easier to play. Simply, you won't get blown up as fast with Sunder's not being picked up by every single god. Hebo, A-. Hebo's great. He's cool. He's fantastic. Except for late game, unless you get lucky, you're going to one-shot somebody and then you're going to die. So getting away with it in the late game while being a god that basically has 3 ultimates is super risky and kind of hard to play, and you're going to get dove a lot by a lot of the assassins, and they're going to kill you. Hell, poo-poo tier. Anti-healing too easy to pick up. Close range abilities, super risky to play. Not going to be a prominent god anytime soon. Okay, so sorry about that. Something I ordered just got here. So we got Hercules coming in at A+. Safe god, doesn't like anti-heal, but can control a fight, can control his lane. Just hit your abilities and you're good to go. Hou Yi, one of the better hunters in my opinion. Putting Hou Yi at A+. Understand that this tier list might be a little bit different from your top 5 hunters, and that's just because I'm taking into account full team comps rather than just you playing an individual god while making this tier list. So just remember that if anything contradicts my top 5s, because it's a different mindset. This is what you should be playing, you as a personal want to do well in this god versus a full team comp, a full tier list of competitive play. So Hou Yi, A+, has mobility, one of the few hunters that can go over walls, has ton of control with the 1, the 2, and the ultimate combos, the slows and the stuns. If you can't hit your abilities, don't play Hou Yi. If you can play Hou Yi, you'll get away with it and you'll carry pretty damn hard. Hun Bats, we're putting at A+. I think Hun is a great team fighting god. One of the better assassins when looking over all of them. But he's also one of those gods that's going to get played a lot because assassins are being banned. Sonano gets banned in a lot of competitive play. Serket gets banned in a lot of competitive play. Nemesis gets banned in a lot. So Hun Bats is one of those gods that gets in there, is good all the time, not great, a little bit above average, not quite your A tier. He's good in every matchup, or he's average in every matchup. He doesn't have bad situations. He doesn't have bad matchups. As long as your team has some other beads burner, Hun Bats is something you'll want to play a decent amount of. Isis, putting Isis in the A tier. She's risky. You can't pick her early because you get counter matchup. If she falls behind, she sucks dick. And if you're not controlling objectives, she's worthless. Izanami doesn't get played at all. She just doesn't. I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. I'm putting her at A-. She should have pretty good lane control, but her team fight is pretty meh. I mean, her ult's cool and all, but like, she's really risky to play with her 3 being on such a long usage. It takes forever to get your 3 off. Janice, we've seen a huge fall off on Janice. He's easy to kill. He's not great for team fighting. The global ult, as I said earlier, is not something that is as prominent as it was a few months ago or even a season ago. They're not seeing as much Janice play. Jing Wei has seen a little bit of a rise. I'm going to put her into A tier. I think Jing Wei is really good. I really do. I think she's super safe, but I think there's just better gods for you to play team fight wise. If you're looking to farm your ass off, Jingwei is going to be great at that, which is what a lot of hunters are doing competitively. In your ranked games, you're seeing a little bit more fighting and a little bit less calculated play, so I'm going to put Jingwei at A. She could fall into A+ if you're looking at only ranked play. Kali, A-. You can play Kali, and if you have fun playing Kali, go for it. Just not your optimal assassin. You need the right comps. You need the ability to get into team fights without being blown the fuck up and having to ult instantly. Khepri, A+. His ultimate is annoying as fuck. The gods that are canceling out the ultimate, the Thanatos, the Ao Kuang, they're not being played. So Khepri is really strong on top of his kit being great at pushing and great at peeling in the backline. On Khepri, you're not going to be initiating fights after the 10-minute mark. You're going to be more of a backline peeler, throwing out your 2, using your ult properly, and just controlling the fight with your root. Culkin, we see more play, putting him in the A tier. Great clear. Kind of risky. If you are not good at hitting your ultimate, please don't play this god. There's no reason to. If you're great, this is your god. You hit your ult all the time. Culkin moves up to like an A, S-, but nobody hits all their abilities. So we're going to watch out on the Culkin. Understand that he could die easily. He's got decent matchups, especially against Serket. That's one of the matchups. As Serket, I hate playing against Culkin because if I ult somebody, the Culkin ults and I'm dead. So that is a matchup you want to look for. But once again, it requires certain matchups. You can get dove easily on Culkin. It can be risky. It can be scary. So probably avoid that a little bit. Kumakarna's seen some buffs coming in on Tuesday, but those don't matter. He's still pretty poo-poo. A-, not S-. A-. He's not going to get played that much. He doesn't do too much. He's not as great at peeling or doing anything else simply because his mez can be broken. If he's initiating every fight, fantastic. It's just unlikely for him to always be initiating with the team able to follow up and not being disrupted. Kizimbo, A-. He doesn't do anything. He's just there. He's just annoying in there. He's not going to win lane. He's not going to do anything special, so fuck him. Get him out of here. Loki, A-. Once again, another early game shitlord god. You're going to get invaded. You're going to lose all your buffs for the first 10 minutes, and you're going to be 2 to 3 levels behind as a solo laner. Doesn't sound like a good time. Medusa's a really, really strong hunter right now. Putting her in A. She can be played almost any time you want. She's great. She has an awesome ult. She has the ability to push in lane. Her late game isn't the best. She's more of a mid-late god, not late game god, you know, like that mid to late is where she's going to spike. Mid, definitely. Mercury, I think he's a little underrated. I'm putting him in the A. I truly believe that if enough assassins are banned, this is the assassin that comes out. He has the team fight. The farming is there now. That is why. The game has, while early game, you're still risky. Mercury has a really good level 1 if you're fighting, by the way. His auto attacks hit hard as fuck. He will win a lot of level 1 fights that you probably don't recognize. But if you get past that level 3 mark, you're fine. Well, if you get your own buffs, which there are a lot of ways to guarantee you get your own buffs right now, as a Mercury at least, because you can go in the other jungle, you have the ability to do the camps yourself, blah, blah, blah. Once you get to late game, once you get to the farming stage in the game, the mid, where people are just only looking for calculated fights and calculated farm, if Merc's farming, you're going to get fucked as soon as you get this crit. So I think we'll see a little bit of Mercury. Nija, I'm putting into A+. You see a lot of Nija right now. The setup for the mage gods is amazing. The annoying factor of the god, he just takes someone out of the fight. As long as you don't miss an ult late game, you're good. But one missed ult makes the god poo-poo. You could literally lose a game because you miss a Nija ult at 40 minutes. That's not a good thing. Obviously, everyone assumes they're going to hit their shit, but sometimes the other team's smarter. Sometimes they know it's coming and they pre-beat. That happens, you're done. The game could be over off that one ultimate. Neith, I think Neith is pretty meh. I don't think she's bad. I think she just, once again, globals aren't as annoying. They don't do as much. So we're dropping Neith into A-. Nemesis. We're putting Nemesis into S-, not S+. S-. Worst part of the god is not having lane clear. Pair it with a mage that has lane clear, and the god is disgusting. His ability to slow and auto-attack somebody down is there early. His ultimate, obviously annoying as fuck. His mobility is there, especially with the change to his dash, or her dash, sorry, it's the girl, whatever. Get over it. Strong god, simple as that. Nike, A, little bit below the other solo laners, but not bad. She's kind of safe with the ultimate, pretty safe with the ultimate, but just doesn't have that much team fight presence. She can be a little annoying, but you can also ignore her, however you look at it. Nox, A. Hit your combos, you can win a game. Look at Stealth. He plays Nox amazingly, and you fucking farm. Because she doesn't only have to do damage. She can cancel abilities. She can just be there to be annoying. She can stop other people from doing things while your team is farming them in a team fight. Has a lot of potential on the god. Nuwa, I think Nuwa is poo-poo still. A-. Early game is too bad. and the late game takes too much. She's great at killing backline warriors, stuff like that, but she's also not good at being dove by assassins, which is really common right now. Odin, putting Odin into A tier. You see Kiki play Odin a lot. You've seen some people pull out the Odin in the solo lane. With the gods that get played a lot right now, he does well. But the fact that you can pick up the really short cooldown Phantom now makes it kind of risky, especially coming out of the solo lane. Most people are going to have both actives by the time you're part of the fights, and then they're just going to walk out of your ultimate. But at the same time, if you ult to get them to pop it, reset, and then ult again as soon as it's up, you win yourself a team fight. Osiris, we're going to put Osiris into S tier. I think Osiris is the other top tier solo laner. He can poke and bully and be annoying as fuck. Most of you lower level players don't know how to play the god correctly. You don't understand that the passive is amazing. You don't understand the poke potential, and you don't understand the ability to run at people with your 3 up. You don't get it for some reason. But once you understand that, you'll get why the god is a top tier god. Poseidon, we're going to drop it into A tier. Actives make him a little bit less relevant. Also, the fact that team fights are calculated and actives are almost always up in them makes it hard to get away with Poseidon. But he does have the clear, he does have the presence early game, so you can't drop him all the way to A-. Ra, putting into A+. It's a Ra, short-ass cooldown ultimate that hits for 1,000,000. And then you got the one you can throw out that hits really hard. And you've got some heals for your team to sustain on in the backline or just pull back and heal. The presence on Ra is there. The ability to be dove is there too. So you have to play Ra either position perfectly or have a team that is ready to help your ass out. Raijin, we're gonna drop Raijin. Is there anything below D? No, fuck, D's the lowest. Okay, so we're dropping him into D tier. He can't go any lower. He's so bad. He's getting a rework or some shit pretty soon. So whenever that happens, we'll talk about Raijin again. Rama, we're gonna drop Rama in A+. Great god, amazing, safe with the ultimate. Just doesn't have team fight control. Just has the ability to hard carry. So put this in a team comp where you want to hard carry as Hunter, and you got him. He's there. He could potentially be an S-. I just think it's safer to put him in A+ and understand. Next up, we got Ratatoski. Ratatoski's A tier. He's got an ultimate that's annoying. He's got control in his kit. He kind of can build a little bit tankier with the shifter shield. You can even go the gladiator shield, double up on them. You're pretty damn tanky. Make sure you get some pen in there. He's great at diving. Really, really good at diving. Not that great at peeling and being doven. If you're getting dove as a Ratatoski, that's probably going to be a bad game for you. Robin, I think Robin's amazing still. Putting him in A+. You don't need Sunder to do well in Robin. You can go beads early and then pick up Sunder later, or even not go Sunder at all, and you'll be fine. He works. He does a lot of damage. He's super annoying. I play him a lot in the jungle. You can play him in the solo lane. He's actually one of the better solo laners once you get past the Osiris, Bellona, Hercules. And it's a god you want in your god list. You want to be playing that god. Scylla, A tier. I think Scylla's great, but she's risky as fuck. There are so many people that pick her and don't do anything in game at all. Hit your ultimates and you're going to win a fight, but if you don't hit your ultimates, you become irrelevant really, really quick. And the threat of that ultimate, if people are seeing you whiff it over and over again, they're just not going to give a fuck. They're just going to kill you. So that's why I'm not putting Scylla high. Obviously, you're going to assume everybody's going to hit every ability, but Scylla is one of those gods that you just don't hit multiple ults on in a game. It doesn't happen very often unless the perfect circumstances arise. Serket, I'm going to put an A+. I think she's great at everything except for late game team fighting. Late game team fighting can be really rough. So with Serket, you're looking to get the early picks, the early ganks, the early farm, try to get a lead, try to go for the invades, put the other jungler behind. So when it does come time to team fight, you're good to go. When it does come to that time, you're not looking to jump right into a team fight. You can kill the backline if they're diving too far. You're great at killing tanks with the full pen build. But you want to wait for the other team to use some abilities and then go for that backline. Use your blink, get in there, then get the fuck out if you're going to die. Scotty, A tier. Scotty's good. With the tankier build, he's a lot safer. With the ability to be fast off of the ice, his ice ability, it's there. Like, the potential for the god is there. Just not a high tier pick because of the lower mobility. Sobek, I hate Sobek. I'm putting Sobek in A-. I don't like Sobek. He's good at being a little bit of annoying to a lot of the melee gods like Serket and Mercury, stuff like that. But he's just not overall good. His team fight is meh. His ultimate is poo-poo. His plucks are great at setting someone out of position, but then you're out of position as a Sobek, and you will die. People can kill you very easily right now with the build. You'll die. Soul, one of the top tier gods in the game. Amazing mid laner. Burst potential, it's one of those things nobody can get used to. The 2 and the ultimate combo is ridiculous. The ability to clear early is there. The safeness out of the god because of the 3 is there. The self-peel is there. The healing is there. With Bancrofts, the god is sick. putting her in S minus. Wukong, really strong solo laner right now. A+. He's annoying. He's just hard to kill with his ultimate. He's a super frustrating god. Simple as that. He's one of the better solo laners. Not one of the top ones, but once you get past the bans, because Osiris and Blown are banned all the time, Wukong's a really strong pick. Susano, S tier. One of the best gods in the game. Highest mobility god in the game, I feel like, next to Serket. Has high damage, has the ability to displace, has an annoying team ultimate that can be used from close or range. He's got everything. Sylvanas, A tier. Not super safe, but really, really strong in laning. Really, really strong when you're looking at a team comp that's looking to poke and then heal yourself. Poke and then heal yourself. You have to play around that. Terra, S minus. I think Terra is one of the better support gods right next to Fafnir. Global ultimate. That global ultimate, oddly enough, is super strong. And it's because it doesn't only affect you or affect movement. It is a global ult that affects the team fight, and there are very few of those. Thanatos, Poo tier. Not quite complete Poo tier, but Poo tier. A minus. He's okay, but if you fuck up once, you lose. There's just way better assassins. The Morgan, putting the Morgan at A+, I think Morgan's great, unless you pick a team comp that farms Morgan. If a team comp farms Morgan and she can't do anything, you have like a Hades or some other shit that's just constantly diving the Morgan over and over and over again, you're going to get fucked. You're going to get farmed. But if you can pick Morgan after those gods are taken out, those annoying gods that could fuck you are gone or can't be picked, then Morgan's great in the mid lane. Farm away on her. Understand that your ultimate is going to be your key, and switching into the right gods is going to be the way that god works. Next up is the bane to my life. We got Thor. I'm going to put him at A+. I think he's one of the better assassins, honestly. I just think he's a little bit below your Susano, your Nemesis. He's kind of right there with your Serket, except for his team fight is better, and his ability to snowball is a little bit harder. Thoth, A+. A little bit weaker late early game. Amazing mid game. Use the dash properly. You're going to see a lot of the top level players dashing into walls and throwing their stuns over walls and stuff. Things that keep them safe, but still make them super relevant and make them control a fight. That is the key to playing Thoth at a high level and also hitting your ultimate. Tier, gonna put Tier down here in A-. I hope he just doesn't get played straight up. Same with Ul, A-. Not that strong. Not gonna get played much. Vamana, I'm gonna put at A tier. Vamana's good. Great at being alone and just farming. Granted, right now in solo lane, you get ganked a lot, so he's a little bit riskier to play because gods like Serket, gods that can control the Vamana will be picked, will be played, and will fucking shit on the Vamana. But if Vamana gets ahead, gets the ability to farm, he can be annoying in mid to late game team fights. The later the game goes, though, Vamana's just going to die. Vulcan, really annoying mage right now, really strong. The poke is there. His one hits for like 800 late game. You saw Snoopy play him in ADC against us and shit stomp. The passive is a little underrated. He's actually pretty damn quick with the passive, and you can get a tankier item like Wingblade or whatever you need to just be fully safe. Xbalanque, Poo tier, dropping him in a B, doesn't get played. Xingtian, Poo tier, doesn't get played. Ymir, A-, risky support with a lot of potential, but the high risk, the ability to die is there. It's just not a strong pick. Zeus, A-, another mage that got nerfed in the ground, doesn't really do too much, and is super unsafe. And then Zhongqi, another mage that actually has a little bit of potential, just not quite what you are looking for in this meta. It's just not doing enough. He's not able to clear early enough. He's not big enough of a threat, and he's out of position a lot, especially in your ranked games. If you're playing him, you're probably gonna die a lot, just straight up. So here's the tier list. I explained what it is based around. I explained what was going on. Scroll down so you can see Raijin. Kind of left the S- blank the S+ blank because I don't think there's any gods that's like just broken. Like you pick this god, you automatically win. I'm thinking you pick these three gods, those teams are winning a lot of their games, and then so on all the way down. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want. What other YouTube content do you want from me? Just tell me, especially if it's Smite related. I want to know if it's other games or anything else. Also, please fucking tell me. I'm playing a lot of other shit. I'm streaming a lot right now, especially with the downtime in the SPL. Hit me up with what you want to see. Appreciate it, guys. As always, hit the subscribe button. We're pushing for 100K. Hit the subscribe button, please. Please. Also, like the content. Any content you like from me, especially if you like it more than others, hit the like button. Smash that shit so I know, so I can create more of it. Have a good night, guys, and I will see you all in the YouTube videos later on. Sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.